Welcome. This is Richard, and I want to welcome you to the Innovation Best Practices episodes, where every single one I specifically designed to help you sell more and make more from your innovation program. These best practices are designed to work in virtually any business with any innovation need. I want to welcome especially listeners from around the world in at least 80 countries. Welcome back. Good to have you here. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the most innovative companies of 2015, and this comes from an annual survey of 1,500 business leaders. It's a very diverse and international group, and over the last 10 years, innovations has become steadily more important. In fact, in 2015, 57% of the respondents to this Boston Consulting Group survey said that innovation was one of their top 3 priorities, where 22% said it was their top priority. Boston Consulting Group is one of the top broad-based consulting groups in the world today. Its perspectives are taken seriously. Since innovation best practices are at the heart of these episodes, I periodically highlight the most innovative companies in the world so that we can learn from them. You'll remember some very recent podcast on Google and Facebook, for example. These kinds of lists help me to explore and share with you what's going on at the most innovative companies in the world. So let's get into the list. If you're listening to this as a video cast, there's a slide on the screen now that shows 1 through 10, 11 through 20, and 21 through 30 out of the top 50. For those of you that aren't, I'm going to be talking about a few of these companies and giving you some thoughts and perspectives on them. The most innovative company, maybe not surprisingly, but maybe surprisingly, is Apple. And I say that because Apple, certainly based on a historical basis, especially a 5 to 10 year historical basis, certainly deserves to be at the top of that list. Whether it deserves to be at the top of the list based upon the last 12 months or not, in my mind, is a different question. Apple Watch, people aren't talking too much about it. They're not talking about numbers of watches sold like they do with iPhones and iPads. I don't think the Apple Watch has been a big innovation. It's essentially gives you a lot of the functionality you already have on your iPhone or iPad or other sorts of things. Even though I love Apple and I've got just about everything Apple, I don't have an Apple Watch. Google is the second most innovative company, and for those of you that have listened to a recent podcast on innovation at Google with all their moonshots, boy, they certainly deserve to be there. Tesla Motors is number 3. Boy, they've rocketed up about as fast as a Tesla S can go, which is faster than any other automobile on planet Earth that's sold. Very interesting company and drawing a lot of attention. 4th is Microsoft, and for a lot of years I would not have thought, and I would have been shocked if Microsoft was number 4 on this list. But they've done a lot right recently. They've done a lot not right in the past. Their acquisition of Nokia is just mind-numbing that they would do that. But I think what they're doing with the Surface and Surface Pro and some other things that they're doing in the software area have really reignited that company and have certainly got my attention and respect. The next one on the list is Samsung. And I've had an earlier podcast on this also on Samsung. I have a lot of respect for what they're doing. In the Android operating system, when it comes to telephones, I think cell phones, I think they are absolutely right there. If I were not a Apple fanatic, I'd probably own a Samsung and use the Android system. I think they're doing a lot of good things. I think their TVs and other electronics are also leading edge. And if you look at the Samsung company, it's a huge, huge, huge company in a lot of businesses. So I think they deserve to be there. Toyota's next, and that kind of raises a little bit of an eyebrow to me. And maybe it's my fault that I don't really know. I'm not up to date on what's going on at Toyota. But not a lot has come on my radar screen that would say that they're a highly innovative company. Respected for sure. Innovative, not so sure. BMW is next. And they're getting a lot into the electronics of cars. They're getting into the electric car business, so I think a lot is going on there. The next company I'll talk a little bit more about in a moment. Amazon is there. Not surprisingly, with a lot of things that they're doing, robots and other sorts of things. Daimler, which is the Mercedes company, also bringing a lot of electronics and has been innovative in the car business for a long time. I think they've been out-innovated by Tesla for sure. I also think Hyundai has been doing a lot of good stuff, and they don't even make it into the top 30 on this list. So that's kind of a rundown of the top 10. A few others just from the list that in the top 30 list that I'll just kind of give you a comment on. IBM is on there. They're probably doing some good stuff, but they're struggling and trying to make some transitions and everything, so I'm not quite sure what gets them onto the list as much as they are. Walt Disney, with all the acquisitions of the Lucas and Pixar and all that, certainly they deserve to be on the list. Hewlett-Packard is on the list, and I got to tell you, I'm not sure what they're doing that's innovative. Splitting the company up is probably the most innovative thing I've seen there. They've had a lot of flops. I'm not sure that, again, they've got a lot going on. And again, that just could be on me because I'm not aware of what they're doing. Netflix is there. I think they absolutely deserve to be on the list. They've been pioneering the original programming and having a lot of very good original programming. So all of that is good. So a lot of interesting companies on here, and I'm sure I'll be talking about some of these more as the year goes on. A couple of things. Technology-savvy automakers have made a strong presence on the list. Retail tech savvy also helps. Amazon, as I mentioned, with their warehouse robots and their easy ordering in-home technology. I'm not sure how successful that's going to be, but they've certainly been doing well. There's a lot of geographical distribution of these. 29 of the top 50 are from the U.S., 11 from Europe, and 11 from Asia. So innovation is a worldwide phenomenon. In addition to that, innovation speed is becoming increasingly important in a world that changes faster and faster. A lean R&D process also helps to speed things up, but it's also having an impact on other steps of the innovation process. I've read a lot about lean R&D recently and lean innovation. I think there's some value to it, but I got to tell you, I probably have more concerns than I do anything else about this. Creativity needs space to breathe. That's not an excuse for being inefficient and lazy or anything like that. That's not what it's about. But we can't let deadlines and that sort of stuff compel us to make decisions and to move forward or to kill something just because that's what's in the process. And I may be over-exaggerating that a bit, but in spirit, secondary influences can be lean. Primary influences need to be still good general management decisions about do we have an innovative idea here and what's the best way to move it forward. And while technology is used to be the province primarily of, or even exclusively to the IT department, today digital, mobile, and big data, most major departments in a company are directly involved. So it's spread, and I think that's a very good thing that's going on in the innovation business. With established companies, with mature core businesses, innovation is becoming increasingly important. Why? Innovate or stagnate and die, or get run over by the next innovation in your business. The focus in many cases is with these companies is on expanding into adjacent business categories, which makes a lot of sense. Strong brand names that can extend into other businesses. I've talked about some of this earlier. Mr. Clean is a Procter & Gamble example that's moved from a floor cleaner to an adjacent category with the Mr. Clean eraser, which has been a very major success for them. Gilead, Gilead Sciences, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, is an interesting company. It's in the top 10, and it developed a cure for major diseases like hepatitis C, and it's making an advance on the treatment of HIV infection. The company president said something very interesting about innovation, and I quote, I don't think of Gillette as having a growth agenda. We have an innovation agenda. We spend a lot of time thinking about how to make better medicines for tomorrow, and that innovation drives growth, close quote. Let me put an exclamation mark around that. I'm a big fan of what he just said. So that's our most innovative companies for 2015. And if you want more innovation best practices, all you need to do is go to i2ge.com. That's the letter I, number 2, ge.com. On the left-hand side, you'll see a menu bar. Click on DIY Innovation Training. That's Do-It-Yourself Innovation Training. You'll see a list of a whole bunch of training programs we have there. If there's one that does not fit your exact needs, just email me and we'll design one specifically for you. Here's what I'm trying to do with these training programs. I'm trying to make you innovation self-sufficient so that you don't have to hire expensive consultants like me and others to do it for you. Another innovation best practices is in one of the 6 books that I've published, and this book is titled Proven Practical Innovation That Delivers Results. It's available only at Amazon and paperback and Kindle book, and it's value priced below my break-even cost, so no excuse not to get this book. If you have suggestions, comments, or requests, I love hearing from listeners. Just email me at richard@i2ge.com. I look forward to listening and hearing from you. The next episode is going to take a peek into the secret of Pixar's innovation success. This may surprise you, it may underwhelm you, but I'm going to try and share with you why it is absolutely insightful stuff that works for any innovation program. And Pixar, as you know, is a very innovative Disney company. So please make sure that you tune in for this episode. As all of you know by now, I deeply appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to spend it with me. I really look forward to reconnecting with you soon. And until then, please have a great day.